Hey, it's Tony Io with me, Charles Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight, reviews of The Vandal, Reverend Dusty, and Bunnicular. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Two on the Aisle. Actually, I think that's Bunnicular with an A.
Good evening, I'm Leslie Hoban
Bunny
Blake.
and Dracula. And I'm the very confused Charles Gross. Welcome to Two on the Aisle.
So.
All right, so, well, we're going to start off tonight with an off-Broadway play at the Flea, and it's called...
There
are no fleas at the Flea, but there is a play called The Vandal. There are no vandals at the play either, at the Flea. Maybe there's some vandals stepping on fleas
up
there.
so I can do my thing.
That's a reverse.
I want to show the program for the Flea. It is a single sheet of paper, no excess. The Flea has gone green, and I think people should think about this. What I miss, of course, is all the wonderful stuff and stories and things about the actors, but I can go online and find all that out. Okay, that's just a side thing.
Of course
The Vandal is written by Hamish Linklater. Hamish Linklater is the wonderful actor who starred in, for those of you who watch television, the new old Christine. He played the sort of doofy-looking brother. For those of you who go to the theater, he was in Merchant of Venice. He will be in the upcoming, let me get it right now, with, oh dear, I wrote it down to make sure I didn't get it wrong, the Shakespeare in the Park. They will be doing the twin play. What is the twin play called? I wrote it down and I can't read it. I'm going to have to actually
Two Gentlemen from Verona?
No, thank you. It's a good
Comedy of Errors.
Comedy of Errors, thank you. I knew that. I directed it. I can't remember it. Anyway, so you know, Hamish has been around even though he's a kid. And Hamish wrote this play. Which I rather liked, I have to say. It's only a 75-minute play. It's only a 3-character play. The 3 characters are Deirdre O'Connell as a strange lady sitting at a bus stop outside of a cemetery across the street from an old age home, from a hospital. Bus stop, cemetery.
Right.
Young guy.
And there's a liquor store on somewhere there too.
Somewhere there. A young guy in a hoodie comes around, strikes up a conversation, and ultimately the rationale behind is striking up the conversation, because this is a play not about anything really. It's an incident.
Unless you miss it, then you're late. You're the one who's late, not the bus.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess if it weren't late, you wouldn't be here, right? I mean, like, why would you be here if it had come on time? You would be on the bus.
I mean,
you're pretty. You're a little cold, but that might just be the weather. But I think you're probably nice, too, when you warm up. So I bet people want to be friends with you.
okay, well, thank you.
Say what you.
Oh my God! People say that. You know what time's good for? Nothing! A heart attack's better. A car crash. A bolt from the blue. You want to tell me it's better to watch my husband die for 3 years, getting a little hope up maybe, and then getting punched in the gut over and over? That's better? If he's going to die, kill him already. Here's how you say goodbye for 3 years. Goodbye!
I think of Waiting for Godot with just a little but not enough of Bus Stop.
Okay, well, only because it takes place at a bus stop. Yes.
There you go.
All right. And the kid.
I don't think the bus ever gets there.
The kid comes. See how you do this to me, and I'm supposed to let you do it without saying anything. The kid comes up to the lady, and there's an age difference, a tremendous age difference, and she's not attractive in that sense. She's elder. She's middle aged and worn out, and she looks it. And Deirdre O'Connell plays that better than anybody. But she's funny and she's pithy, and the kid is annoying, and ultimately turns out that he wants her to buy him some beer. And ultimately, for whatever reasons, maybe because she also wants a drink, she decides to go to the liquor store, which is on the other side of the stage, and get him a drink. And that's the 3rd character who's in this play. Zach Grenier plays the guy who runs the... So it's a convenience store. It's not just a liquor store.
Also, probably best known these days for his character on The Good Wife. He plays the morally challenged or sleazy family court attorney or divorce attorney.
Okay, but Zach, as I've mentioned occasionally, I love what I call journeyman actors. Zach is another journeyman actor. He's been in dozens and dozens and dozens of plays, and he's one of those faces. That
and he
you
is
know.
frankly what I consider the scenes that he's in are the best in the play.
And he's using a different vocal place. He's walking very much down here, kind of like this, and it's a very interesting character that he's created. Now, what we have is a couple of incidents, and these people talking to each other, and they're lonely people, and they begin to talk, and what you find out is that nobody is who they seem to be. If I give away any more of the play than that, I will give away what little bit there is, because it is only
And
75 minutes long. No, let me finish. The young boy is Noah Robbins, and we remembered him lovingly from Brighton Beach Memoirs, the play that David Cromer directed, and the one that closed far too soon. All of that. Jim Simpson, who is the artistic director of The Flea, directed it. Jim Simpson is also in real life married to Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney has come downtown and done things like The Guys at The Flea, that wonderful play about it was about firemen, and it was about 9/11. So this is it. If I tell you any more, think of it as an M. Night Shyamalan anecdote, and that will tell you enough. M. Night Shyamalan directed The Sixth Sense, the movie. Oh. Okay, so that's the best way. It's an anecdote. It's not really a full play, but
That's for sure.
For me, again, difference of opinion. It was an engaging. Yeah. It was an engaging 75 minutes. I went with each different
Let me tell you what Leslie was engaged in doing during those 75 minutes. This, to me, because I'm sitting in the front row, and I cannot keep my eyes open, especially in the scenes with Noah Robbins. Noah Robbins was wonderful in Brighton Beach Memoirs, but he is so annoying here, and he is one-dimensional, and the conversation goes on, and despite Deidre O'Connell's wonderful reactions, I didn't care. I'm trying to pay attention to the play. I keep looking, and I'm waiting for something to happen, but it's like waiting for Godot, or for that matter, the bus, because neither of them show up here. And I don't care about the plot twists because I slept through them anyway. I could not stay awake for this play. And I like Zach Grainer. Excuse me. I love him in The Good Wife. I liked him very much here. My favorite scene was him in the convenience shop, liquor store, whatever the heck it was, between him and Deidre. They play off each other beautifully. Unfortunately, he's only in one of the scenes, and the rest of it.
You see, you slept through the best part, which was the last scene. He's in the last scene.
Yes,
and that's when
but that's two scenes, and that's where the whole thing comes together, and there's this big revelation, and
you're not going to talk about.
And I'm not going to talk about it, and you know what? I didn't care about it.
Okay.
Because this play was just going here, there, everywhere. I didn't follow it. I didn't have. And it had no interest.
It's what Adult Swim says. It's a twist. The Robot Chicken they always say it's a twist.
That's fine.
Be that as it may.
But if I don't like Adult Swim, I turn the channel.
Okay.
If I don't like a play, I sleep through it. And I slept through the, and I tried. I really tried.
That I slept through a play, even if I did.
I'm not proud of it. Okay. Believe me, I like to stay awake during a play. But if that's how I'm going to react, that tells me something about the play and about the performance and how it was drawing my attention. Which
it's a bit of
unfortunately,
a ramble. I will agree with Charlie.
It wasn't, and it's 75 minutes. Boy, it sure seemed a lot longer.
I will agree with Charlie that it's a bit of a ramble, but it was worth the rambling, and I do like these three actors. And I think, given that Linklater's background is as an actor, he wrote scenes for actors. I think if he decides to continue writing, and look, Jesse Eisenberg has a new play called The Revisionist, starring, of all people, Vanessa Redgrave. So, there are young actors out there who decide that they want a little more control of what's going on, so they're writing now. And some of them are writing very well. And I think Hamish has a gift, and I think he will be writing better.
I hope so. Okay. I think he has a gift. I hope he will develop it. But, all I'll say is, look, the same woman who wrote How I Learned to Drive, which is one of my
Yes.
favorite plays. Also wrote
Yes.
Mineola Twins, which was
I
a
also like, but I also
really,
like that,
which I
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
despised.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I will see a How I Learned to Drive from this guy
You might.
very, very soon.
I really think you might.
And that will more than make up for this.
I don't know
which
how
I
soon, but-
unfortunately, I like 2 out of the 3 actors in this. I like
Okay.
I like all 3 of them in general, but I only like 2 out of 3 here, the adults.
You know-
And I can only give this 2 playbills.
I just wanted to say that sometimes for me, because of my background, it's enough to go and have a good time watching actors do good work. And I may not be seeing a great play.
But you know what?
Since
Since the average theater goer doesn't have your background, hasn't toured, hasn't directed a number of plays,
no, I wasn't saying
they may not see it that
Charlie,
way.
let's not. I would give it 2.75.
Oh.
I would call it a worthy attempt, and we'll see what he does.
So
next.
perhaps we are looking at not what this is, but what she's hoping this playwright will turn out to
I
be.
think I said that.
Yes.
I think I said
Well,
exactly
I'm
that.
making it abundantly clear.
Okay,
Okay.
abundantly.
Can we move on?
Absolutely.
Can we
I
talk
wasn't
about
holding us
Forever
back.
Dusty?
Go.
Okay. Well, the one thing that I learned when I saw Forever Dusty was that I knew absolutely nothing about Dusty Springfield.
Me too.
I thought, wasn't she this? Well, with a name like Dusty Springfield, she was maybe she was a country western singer or something like that. Well, it turns out that I am very familiar with her music, and I just had no idea who she was. She was actually Irish, although, you'd think she was British hearing her talk. Right. She had a very long career. She introduced songs such as Son of a Preacher Man and Wishing and Hoping and I Only Want to Be With You, songs that I know, pretty much back and forth. But even after we hear them, we were thinking, oh wait, Dusty Springfield did that? She could have originated it. Yes, she could. Yeah. And she did. So this was a performer with a wonderful career.
Right.
And every bit of it is shown in this play, which was written by Kristen Holly Smith, who portrays Springfield, and Jonathan Bankin.
But it's directed by Randall Myler.
Yes.
And Randall Myler has a wonderful history of doing these pop star kinds of plays. He did Janice. Mm-hmm. He did the one about the guy from the Mamas and the Papas. I can't remember the name of it. And
he was one of the Papas.
Yes, he was one of the Papas. And he was in it. He starred as himself.
Okay. Yeah, and what the problem is when you try to do someone's entire life.
It's hard.
It's very hard to pin it down and get it continued. Also, I think Kristen Holly Smith, who, as I said, portrays her, and she's got the look down.
Yeah.
Beautifully. Yeah. She absolutely has the look, and it's an off-Broadway show, and it kind of reflects an off-Broadway budget because she wears the same costume several times. It's only a 4-piece band.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the songs, and we are, you kind of miss the full orchestra. But even though it's only a 4-piece band, she gets drowned out quite a bit.
She does get drowned out. I'm very disturbed about that they drowned her out.
And I think she says in the playbill, in the notes, that she's a major fan of Springfield. And I think that may actually have been a hindrance because she obviously has a lot of respect for her. So it kind of, I think she's afraid to go very far. Her performance, for the most part, is very, very one-dimensional.
Well, and it's particularly highlighted against the co-star of the play, who plays one of her backup singers / friends, ultimately girlfriend, which is the whole thing I didn't know anything about at all.
Well, again, did you know she was from?
I had no idea. I had no idea that she was a lesbian, and I had no idea. And it was talked about during the 60s. I didn't know that either. I mean, she talked about it. They said, "Come out, tell us about it." So she did.
Actually, this woman, Christina Sojos, plays several, as do most of the members of the cast.
But she is phenomenal.
Yes.
Singer, movement. I mean, so that also made the girl playing Dusty look kind of wooden. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I don't know so much
move.
Well, again,
she
maybe
had
she was
3 moves.
Well, I don't think Dusty Springfield herself had too many moves.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think that was. Yeah, I think that was part of it. She was trying, to be. So I think she was a little restricted in what she might have done.
Right.
But the performance comes out, while it's a reasonable facsimile of Springfield,
right.
I have to think I never saw Springfield on stage, and I caught a couple
she's
of
on
YouTube
YouTube.
videos.
I went back and looked at
of her.
YouTube, yeah.
I have to think that Dusty Springfield would have been a little more exciting.
It's the voice. The voice of the songs. You know, this is a different time period. We didn't have videos. We didn't have YouTube. People listened to records, and that's what she did. She did go. I'm wrong about that. She went on those pop shows in
Yes,
Britain.
and she had several.
They had, and they she
And she
showed
appeared
us-
in the United States.
but she still had 3 moves. You know, she did. Ethel Merman was like that. Ethel Merman, I've seen live. She did this and this and this, and then she'd be in another play and she'd do that again. So she was limited physically, but her voice was incredible. And she got away with the voice until she didn't anymore,
Right.
which is another
But
part of the story that we sit
well,
through.
the strongest part of the play is at the end when she's sick, because
Yeah.
finally here, Kristen can kind of move out.
Right.
And escape from Dusty. She finally
Right.
lets loose. She finally adds some dimensions to her performance. Unfortunately, it's a little too late there.
Yeah.
And although you've got some really excellent songs
Yeah.
here,
Well, fabulous songs. Wow.
fabulous songs,
And-
and a very worthy subject.
Yeah. Well, I
play-
don't know about that. I mean, I was thinking to myself, I would love to see something about Lulu, who was into Sir with Love. I thought she was adorable, and I
Yeah,
don't
she
know what her
was.
life was. And as long as we're doing Forever Dusty, I'd like to know about
Well,
Lulu.
I think Dusty Springfield had a bit more of a
Probably,
career
I'm
than I
sure.
think the only other thing that I remember Lulu doing was the theme song from The Man with the Golden Gun.
She was in town this weekend doing a show. That's why I mentioned it. But I I've lost what I was going to say.
Okay,
Never mind.
so if someone is looking to do another jukebox musical about a 6 singers in the 60s from Europe or
Yeah,
England,
pick Lulu.
Lulu hasn't been done.
But here's what I wanted to say. He did a very nice job of having the songs flow into what was the topic.
Okay.
Whether that actually was true or not, whether he let the song lead or whether the story led, I don't really know. But the way he put it, he being Randall Milo, the way that was put together, I thought worked very well. It's about the most positive thing I can say. You know, I couldn't wait for it to be over.
Well, I think again, Christina, what is it, Sajas?
I don't know.
As
Maybe. I don't know how to
she
pronounce it.
plays multiple roles, but she's Dusty's lover.
Yes.
You know, for the most part.
But she outshines Dusty in all the scenes they do together.
She does. Well,
she does.
She outshines Kristen in
Kristen,
there, and
yes.
so
Well,
you
that's
know
what I meant,
we
yeah.
have a star to
In the
watch
making,
because
I
she's
think.
because she's not bound. She's allowed to let
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
and she does, and it's wonderful. But this is really not. You know, again, Dusty Springfield did some really nice songs,
Yeah.
and they're here.
Absolutely.
But and
what
I'm sure the tribute is heartfelt.
But definitely is.
But
You can tell it
it's-
is. But so where are we
Yeah.
going from there?
Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I mean,
well,
how
I
many-
guess I'm going to give it 2.5.
I had trouble staying awake for this one. You know, I mean, I did stay
I had to
awake
poke
for
her.
it. Yes, but I did stay awake for it. But
Unfortunately,
because
the
the
music-
music kept
Yes.
waking me up. But 2. I really did not think it was a great show, and I felt very bad because we took a picture with the young lady afterwards, and
Yes,
we
we
have
did.
it somewhere. Hopefully, you'll show it, perhaps
Okay.
on the roll-in. But anyway, be that as it may, nope, I not my cup of tea.
Okay.
Oh, it's a British show, ha ha ha.
Ba-dum-bum.
But
Okay.
Hardly a
and
bad
while we're talking about pop groups from the 60s, how come anybody's ever done anything about the Archies?
oh goodness, I never was a fan of the Archies.
But well, they
No.
were very cartoonish.
But I am a fan of the
Yeah.
next. Can we do that as a segue?
Oh, go for it, go
both
for
are.
it. Yes.
We are fans of Charles Bush.
Oh,
we
big
have
time.
both interviewed Charles Bush.
Yes, he has
I-
actually been on Two on the Aisle more than anyone else.
I once said to Charles that he was my cottage industry. I was writing about him so much. He's a darling, delightful man. And I wrote about him when he was a performer. I wrote about him as a writer. And
Right.
and now he
He's
has a
done-
whole new career. He wrote a play version of a children's classic book that has now become a musical. The book is Bunnicular, a rabbit tale of musical mystery. It wasn't a musical when I was a children's librarian. It was just a book, and children loved it. And it's a series. It's not just one book. But it's
And this
Bunnicular
is not
does
a rabid vampire lesbian from Sodom.
no, I was
Okay.
going to say from Sodom. It's not his first time at the vampire store.
Well, that's a
He
Hebrew
did
pronunciation.
oh, sorry. Okay, he did vampire lesbians of Sodom, so he's back to the vampires. But
Yes.
I don't think there are any lesbians in this. I'm not sure. The cat was a little light, but I don't know. You know, what do I know? It's a charming story. I sat in the front row. I stayed awake. Little kid next to me was playing with a game, and I thought, oh, you know, the lights are going to go out, and he's going to want to play with his game. put the game away, enjoyed the show, laughed. I said to him afterwards, he said it was terrific. So, if it can hold a kid's attention against
A kid holding a video game. Yeah, okay.
So now, the people involved, Charles Busch did the book, Sam Davis did the music, Mark Waldrop did the lyrics. Now, Mark Waldrop wrote Staying in the Animal World When Pigs Fly, which was a charming, wonderful, off-Broadway, just delicious review of all things gay in the animal world and other places. And it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. The cast in this is delightful. And the story is, I can tell you in a sentence, the mother and father go to see a revival of Dracula. They drag their kids. It's a black and white version. They find a bunny in a box underneath their seat. They bring the bunny home. Mom wants to call it Fluffy. The kids go, ugh, we can't call it Fluffy. They decide, well, it's a bunny, and we saw it at Dracula. We'll call it Bunnicular. And the bunny, which is a hand puppet, so everybody has the bunny in one hand or the other hand, and they move it back and forth. When the cat looks at the bunny, and only the cat, it sees red eyes and fangs. When everybody else looks at the bunny, they see a little smiling, no-fang bunny. So the cat's onto something, nobody else gets it, and is it the cat's jealous, or is it really that the cat, that it's an evil bunny? Suddenly the vegetables begin to lose their colors. They pull out a white carrot from the refrigerator, then they pull out a white something else, then they pull out a white something else. All the juices have been sucked out of it. Who could it be? And the cat goes, I know who it is. And the cat and the dog, of course, talk to each other. And
there's a dog too.
Oh, there's a dog, and they have wonderful. Now let me give names, because these people deserve to be
absolutely
recognized. Prescott Seymour is the cat. Is that right? Prescott Seymour, it is. Prescott Seymour is the cat, and Anthony Jones is the dog. The dad is Abe Goldfarb. The mom is Erin McGuire, and the two kids are Ashley Campana and John Gary. Okay, so everybody works very hard. Everybody does double duty. They play other characters. It's all very poppy, very pop colors, very bright costumes. Everything is much too much. It's directed by Carl Andrus, who has worked on Charles' adult shows. So, they work very well together. The kids enjoyed it enormously. You could tell there were screams, and the place was packed. Now, the place is the Darrell Roth DR2 Theater on 15th Street. And it's Darrell Roth who has suddenly gone into the kids' theater business, in a sense. She's doing a wonderful thing, because she's joined forces with TheaterWorks America, which is a really good.
They've done a lot of children's theater. I think they did something based on Sarah Plain and Tall. They also did Cam Jamson, who I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but
I was a children's librarian.
Very popular children's detective, right up there with Encyclopedia Brown.
And Nancy Drew. It's a much more modern version of it. And just to give you a few more things that TheaterWorks has done, they started in 1961, and I'm going to read it. They've reached over 93 million people in 49 states in Canada. They don't bother. They've won every award there is to win except a Tony. Maybe they've gotten a special Tony. I don't know, but they got a Dramatist Award and whatnot. It's top.
And they
quality,
may be getting another one.
It's top quality children's theater.
Right.
If you believe in children's theater, and I do, I think it's a wonderful thing to bring
believe in children's theater.
Well, I mean, as opposed to taking to adult theater. But I wanted to say that Darrell Roth putting her imprimatur on this, and the other play with this season that I also saw there was Velveteen Rabbit, another children's classic. So
involving a rabbit.
Involving a rabbit, actually. I didn't think about
Harvey
that.
Harvey was revived last season.
Right. Something's going on. That's right. And if you look at him, his eyes are red.
Maybe the cat, has a point here.
But my point that I was trying to make, and I think it's an important one, is that someone as important in the theater world as Darrell Roth is taking the time. This is her theater. She's using it on weekends to do this. She can still put other theater in it. But it's a fantastic thing, because it combines literature and theater, and keeps kids engrossed, and they will go back and they will read the original, or they will come already knowing it and read more of them. I can't tell you how wonderful that is. Charles Busch gets fantastic credit for the really slick.
So if you don't really want to take your kids to Dusty or to the Vandal, you have Bunnicular.
You have Bunnicular.
Okay. Charles, okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you we're going to do some Charles Busch trivia.
Oh,
do we have time?
Sure.
What's our time here? We have a little time.
We have a little time. Let's do it.
Do you know the only Charles Busch play that he wrote that he did not appear in drag.
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Oh, that he was in.
That he was in but did not appear in
Yes,
drag.
yes. He was a lucky guy.
You should be so lucky.
You
Close.
should be so lucky. Okay, and the set was based on his living room. It was the same colors and whatnot because we both went in his living room. Go ahead.
I've actually never been in his living
well,
room.
okay, I thought we both
unless you
were,
count seeing the play twice.
No, well, okay.
It was close.
It's a pants roll like in the
Yes.
opera. You know?
And second, do you know what role he would love to play on Broadway?
Oh, I know. Darn, I know that he did Tea in the Afternoon and played Katharine Hepburn. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, but I saw him do that and he was phenomenal. He was so great. No, I'm sorry. So go ahead.
Well,
What?
this is
What?
a role that Charles Busch
Is it a
the
pants role, or?
It's a role he's never played,
Uh-huh.
and he is the only diva on Broadway who has not played it yet. So
Oh my
I'm talking,
God,
of
Dolly?
course, no, Mama Rose.
Oh,
But speaking of Dolly, which was
Oh.
written by
Jerry Herman.
Herman, you know what I would actually pay to see?
No, Shirley.
MAME.
Oh, I
with
was in-
Charles Busch as MAME and Harvey Firestein playing the B. Arthur role.
I played
as
the B.
Vera.
Arthur role. Oh,
And
Harvey would be wonderful. I was good, but Harvey
I mean,
would be better.
just watching them do Bosom Buddies
Oh,
together.
you bet. You bet. That would
That would make it worthwhile.
Can you do it? Can we do a line from
Okay.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals.
We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should forget you, there's me to protect you. If I
say that your sense of style is I forgot
as
the
far
line.
off as your youth,
Youth,
remember that. Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth?
Oh my God, I haven't sung that in years. Do you remember
say that
Jamie
your
Beeman? Did you ever
tongue is
meet Jamie
vicious.
Beeman?
Never had the pleasure.
Oh, okay. He was. I was going to work with him and do something, and I almost tried to sing, and I was afraid to. So I just sang. God knows what it's going to sound like. But you notice I went back to my smoking voice. And back in the day, I smoked, and that was where my voice was.
But and this is the one song. Listen, this was B. Arthur.
Yeah.
You can't go any lower than B.
No.
Arthur.
My
You
favorite
know?
line was she gets up one morning after a really long party and she says, I once played Mother Cabrini in Pittsburgh. And the Pittsburgh has to be down in your toes.
And you played Vera.
I played Vera, yeah.
Who was MAME?
Oh, it was someone on Rita Johnson, I think her name was. I don't recall. It was a road company.
Okay. So
But-
if Harvey's not available, Charles,
No. But Harvey's voice is twice as low.
you-
but you know
we
what's
can put you on a
interesting
moon.
Thank you. Are you trying to
Imagine
say
Leslie
something,
on a
Charlie?
moon.
Are you trying to say something, Charlie? No, but what's really funny about that show is
Yes.
that the poor actress who plays Mame, unless it's Angela Lansbury, works her gazinkas off, and Vera comes in and steals every scene she's in. I mean, it's just
Especially
it's
when
written
Leslie was
that way.
playing her.
Well, it's written that way. It's just it's
Okay.
not anything one
You know
would
what?
do.
That is a show I would love to see. I think is well due for a revival. And
it
I
might
think
work.
a revamped Hello Dolly.
I don't
in
know
other
about
words,
Hello
take-
Dolly,
what?
but I don't know about Dolly, but you know, Mame, I think would be
Oh,
wonderful. Who would
absolutely.
you like to see play it? But,
Charles Busch.
besides Charles. Who else is around?
Oh,
Because Mame is a specific.
no one else but comes to mind.
Oh, I know, but she's a little on the young side. Anything goes. The gal doing anything.
Oh, Sutton
goes.
Foster.
Sutton Foster, yeah.
Well, there's certainly time.
Well,
and-
give her
and-
another 10 years, and she could
right,
do that. She
and
could knock it out of
what's
the
her name? Who
ballpark.
plays Fanny on Bunhead? She was the original Sheila in a chorus line, and she's Sutton's co-star on Bunheads. She'd make a great Vera.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
know.
there's the age
Oh,
difference.
I
That might
see.
be a
Oh, I
problem,
see,
but
yeah.
they could do that.
Because I love the line about age. And said, what is your age? Somewhere between 40 and
40
death.
and death, yes.
40 and death. Yes.
All
So
right.
it was lovely. I'm so happy we had a chance to do this in this lovely new studio. We're up at the Firehouse.
And if they do revive MAME or Hello Dolly, when you go there, look for Leslie and me, us too.
to On the Aisle.
Yes. Lip syncing to the last number.
Preach on